Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Well, another day in the Knicks land. And tonight, we're going to talk about the Knicks and the Phoenix Suns. Tomorrow, they play tomorrow night at 7:30 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are going to try to rebound off of the terrible loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll see if it's possible. They should be able to rebound. The Phoenix Suns, they're okay, but they're obviously not the Milwaukee Bucks. And the Knicks should be able to come in or come back home to the Garden and have a good night against the Phoenix Suns. Try to rebound, try to get it back, try to play with some consistency, because you hear Mike Miller talk about it all the time, that the Knicks have to play with some sort of consistency. You see bits and pieces here and there. It's not always all the way there. But before we even get to that, we're going to talk about this preview. We're going to get to it. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified whenever I go live, drop a video, or post to my community section. I'd also like to announce to you that if you have not purchased tickets to the Knicks versus Nets, you got a last chance to do it. You need to get it done right now. All right, purchase your tickets to the Knicks and Nets. The game is January the 26th at Madison Square Garden. All right, it's $98 per ticket, ladies and gentlemen. $98 per ticket. All right, Section 214, row 6. And before the game, you'll get a chance to go courtside and watch the guys warm up. After the game, we'll all get together and take a picture on the Garden court. Then we'll go out and have some drinks or, whatever it is that you want to do. We'll hang out a little bit. So make sure that you get your tickets now, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are a member, you joined as a member, then go into the community section. There's a post there specifically for members, and you'll get a discount. So make sure you go check that out right now, or these tickets are no longer available. All right. So let's get into this, man. Let's talk about the Knicks and the Nets. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the Knicks and the Suns. And, see if we're going to be able to, get back on the winning track. I think that we can, and I hope that we can. Before we get to that, though, I would like to talk about Kenny Wooten a little bit, or just hear from Kenny Wooten. Kenny Wooten joined the team in practice. It doesn't mean that he's going to be playing, but he did join the team in practice. All right, so let's take a listen to Kenny Wooten from practice, from the Knicks practice. Okay, and see what he's got to say. Let's see what he's talking about here. This is Kenny Wooten, ladies and gentlemen, from Knicks practice. And I know everybody is excited about Kenny Wooten because they can't wait to see what this guy can do. Let's take a listen.
I was practicing. How's this opportunity right now for you with the Knicks?
Practice is fun, It's just like picking up right where I was at in training camp, coming back with the guys. Energy's up, everything feels great.
What did it mean to you to get that contract?
Working for it since summer league, it felt great being able to come in, and have the staff believe in me, work on my game, and be able to sign a contract was great. And it means the world to me. I mean, I'm just gonna try to continue to come in and get better and see if I can go from here.
Obviously, we know about your athleticism. What are the things that you are trying to work on?
I'm trying to work on my all-around game, passing, IQ, shot, dribbling, all that. Really, I'm trying to become the ultimate all-around player. I feel like I'm capable of doing it, and it all starts here.
What's it been like kind of seeing some of those clips, those dunks and blocks go viral?
I mean, it's been great. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it, but it's been there a lot. Like every time I go to my phone, I see a lot of notifications and stuff. So, you know, it's just been great, you know. But I don't really pay too much attention to that.
How many people have you heard from since the news came out that you signed?
People like, oh yeah, no, my people back home in Stockton, you know, they've been giving me a lot of love. I've been seeing it. They've been really excited for me, and I just can't wait to put on for the city.
What's your level of confidence and some advice that you've been given now that you get successful on this level?
You know, grinding in G League is giving me a lot of confidence. You know, it's really humbled me, but it's giving me a lot of confidence in my game. You know, and I feel like, what was it? The ending of that question?
And advice that people have given you.
Oh yeah. I've gotten a lot of advice from like my vets and stuff like that. You know, they just told me, you know, keep working hard. I deserve this opportunity, and this isn't the end.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's Kenny Wooten. And listen, we've all watched him and everything that he's done so far with the Westchester Knicks. He's uber talented. He's an uber athletic guy, right? But I want to make sure that all of us, have things in perspective about him. Number one, just because the Knicks signed him to a 2-way contract, and it's for 2 years, by the way. At least that's what I read. It's for 2 years. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to call him up. Okay, they may or may not call him up, but it doesn't mean that they're going to call him up right now. I think it's going to be a little while before they call Kenny Wooten up to play. We'll see. We'll see, and we're going to hear from Mike Miller in just a minute, and he's going to talk about, so far his experience with Kenny Wooten and whether or not he'll be called up, and he'll be with the team, and he'll be playing with the team. I don't think he's going to play with the team right away. I think, he's still going to play with the Westchester Knicks. Ivan Rabb, who was waived by the Knicks, he's still going to be playing with the Westchester Knicks. It's just that those two guys reversed roles. Ivan Rabb no longer has a 2-way contract. Kenny Wooten does. And Ivan Rabb is eligible to be picked up by any other team in the NBA. He can get a 10-day contract with anyone. Now, if they do bring him up, I don't know where he gets in right now with everyone who's on the team. Maybe he gets some minutes. If the team is getting blown out or blowing somebody out, maybe he gets a couple minutes then. To tell you the truth, I don't know where he fits in until some trades are made. And a spot really opens up for him to come in and play some significant minutes. You know what I mean? But his energy, his athletic ability, his the way that he could jump out the roof is going to be exciting for the Garden crowd. Going to be exciting for me. You know what I'm saying? So, let's just be patient. And when he does get here, let's be patient with him, Knicks fans. We know how we do, and we know what we do. So let's be patient with him. Don't start complaining that he doesn't have a jump shot. Or don't start complaining that he can't go off the dribble or create his own shot. Let him be who he is. I beg of you. Let's hear what Mike Miller has to say about Kenny Wooten, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of a long interview right here. This is Coach Mike Miller talking about Kenny Wooten. He's going to talk about Marcus Morris a little bit. Talk about us rebounding from our game with the Milwaukee Bucks and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into our preview. Check it out.
Marcus Morris.
He was able to do some of the contact stuff. I think he's feeling a little bit better. And we'll get a chance to see how he feels tomorrow after going through this workout today.
How's Frank?
Same thing. Frank did some of the workout, some of the live workout, and we'll see how he feels tomorrow. It's been kind of a day-to-day with him, how he feels, but he did work out today. They're questionable, both questionable right now.
Was Kenny with you guys today?
He was. He practiced today.
Do you expect to have him available tomorrow?
Him being Kenny?
Yeah.
I don't believe so at this time with where we're at right now. I don't think so.
Are you kind of planning to get him integrated next few days or weeks?
Well, I think he's been in the process of being integrated pretty good. What he's been doing with Westchester is putting him in that position. Going from summer league to training camp to playing in all of these games and minutes, and Derek Alston and the staff are doing a great job, helping him develop and putting him in these positions so he's ready.
Is he going to be with you guys tomorrow and just not play, or is he going to not have an NBA game?
I'm not for sure where we're at right now, but we're healthy along the front line. So I know Westchester's got another game coming up this weekend, so he needs that playing time. Yeah.
How do you see using him whenever he does get a shot? Like what position? Or is he kind of a flexible guy?
Yeah, I think he has versatility, with his physical skill package and what he can do. He'll play one of those forward spots. Either he could play the big spot or, he could play the other spot.
You're at the midpoint of the schedule now. How would you sum up the first half of the season and the progress you think you made from day one to today?
Well, I think everything is trending in the right direction. We have been pleased with the progress that we're making moving forward. We've had guys have really, really good segments and have had good runs through this part. Just, it's the same thing. We're working on the consistency of doing these little things every day, and I think you've watched this team enough to know what those things are and what it looks like when you're seeing it and how well we play. So we just, we want to get to that every possession. That's what we're trying to do. Every game we go out, let's play better possession to possession, and let's put 3, 4, 5 good ones together every time.
Are you looking at things process-oriented or results-oriented? You're trying to figure out
Well, I think we're doing both. I think it's part of the same thing. We're trying to get better every day, and in doing that, as we get better, we collectively get better, and we're a better team, and we win more games.
I told the other day that it's the best learning tool is when guys are having success. Is that part of the reason why you guys, you're mixing in the veterans with the young guys, because having that, getting a win and having success on the court, as you said, is the best teaching tool in your development?
I think it helps that way. I think that, the guys are excited about it. They feel good about it. But, to put in the work that these guys put in all during the year, you like to have those results and that positive feedback coming back to them. And we've got a great crew of veterans that we can rely on that have playoff experience. They have a lot of NBA experience. They had someone help them when they were younger, and that's kind of the success cycle.
Kenny's athleticism is ridiculous when you watch the film from Westchester just today in practice against NBA guys. Did that carry over? How do you look athletically?
Well, you see his athleticism. It's just, again, we saw it during the summer league. We saw it during the preseason. We saw it in training camp. So everybody's aware, of what his physical tools are and how he uses them.
Coming off of last night, what do you want to see from your team and how they respond in this home game tomorrow?
Well, what we want every day. We came out of the Miami game and we wanted to take a step forward. We wanted to be better doing these things. We come out of the Milwaukee game, we want to be better. We want to take a step forward and keep improving. We've been very specific on things that we're working on, and we want to see those things. We want to see those habits continue to get better. Not that we're not, it's not that we're not seeing it, but we want to see it every possession.
And it's important to see it right from the beginning, right? Especially.
Absolutely. We've emphasized the first quarter, how we start with our defense, and we've seen it sets the tone, for our team, and we're going to continue on that path.
Allonzo Trier, obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup. He got more consistent minutes last year. How do you think he's handled his minutes and role this season as a professional coach?
I think he's been really professional. He's one of the first ones in the gym every day, getting work in. You watch his body language and his excitement on the sidelines. He's into the games. He's into his team. He's been highly professional this year.
Why hasn't he been able to get on the court so far compared to the other guys?
I couldn't hear you.
Why hasn't Trier been able to get onto the court or as much as even he was last year?
Well, I think as we've gone through it, you know, and we look at it, we've had our wing players that have played pretty well, and we've, you know, all of the guys have gotten some opportunities, and as we've said, and as you've seen it, we get in games, we're not ever hesitant to put any of those guys in the games. You know, we go back to the Washington game at Washington, down the stretch, you know, Zoe hadn't played and we needed him, and he jumps up and goes in because we know he can do it. So we have that kind of confidence. I think we've shown that we'll use these guys even if they haven't played. Could be a tough situation. We'll put them in the fourth quarter at a key time because we know what they can do and we believe in all the guys.
What did it do to the floating offense when you have two guys like let's say Reggie and struggling to hit a shot, kind of just not being able to get to that level?
Well, it's gonna, you know, it happens as you go through games. It will happen at times, and so we've just got to make sure we're doing all the other things. You know, we can't limit our focus to how we're shooting. You know, so that's, you know, those guys, they kept playing. They continued to take good shots. They continued to work on defending. They continued to work on execution. There's a lot of pieces that go into it that if one of those pieces is not going, you've got to, you know, be sharp in the others.
A random one for you. It's a big story in New York. You pitched, played baseball, and obviously you're a coach. Have you paid attention at all to this going on with Major League Baseball with the signs?
I really, just other than reading a headline, I don't know a lot about it. I couldn't really speak on it. I just saw the headline and I haven't even read the articles to see what happened.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, if you want to hear more interviews from Knicks players and coaches and everything, you can go to the New York Knicks YouTube page, and it's all right there. You can also go to MSG Networks, and it's all right there for you. All right, but some things that I've heard from that interview with Coach Mike Miller, one, they kind of asked him, is it about time that you sit down the vets and let the starters play, you know, in the name of development? And what I heard is that everything that they do is about development, winning and developing, you know, and if you develop, you win. Basically, it sounds like to me he's going to continue to do what he's doing. All right? That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. We'll see if there's a change of course anytime soon. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a change of course against the Phoenix Suns or coming up. Seems like they're going to do exactly what they're doing. All right. About Trier, I do agree with him. I think that Allonzo Trier has been very professional and just accepted his role as, you know, where he is right now. You see him on the bench cheering on his teammates, trying to stay positive or staying positive. And I don't want to say trying to stay positive, staying positive. He's, you know, mentally seems to be into games. That's all you can ask of the young man, and then be ready when his time comes. All right, so, you know, we'll see how things shake out in the future, you know, in the near future. We'll see what happens at the deadline. You know, we're like 3 weeks away from the deadline, so we'll see what happens there. Things are really going to start heating up soon as we talk about the trade deadline. And then we'll see what happens, you know, with some of these young guys like Kenny Wooten, Allonzo Trier, and Iggy. You know, see how much playing time they can get as, you know, we're 8.5, 9 games out of the 8th seed. I highly, highly, highly doubt. I would say I'm 98, 99% sure we're not going on some major run to put ourselves in a playoff race. Now, some coaches or some coaching staff or management offices like to say, when we're out of the playoff race, then, you know, we'll do whatever we're going to do. So I'm not saying that's what the Knicks are saying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what some places like to do. All right, we'll see where it goes from there. But tomorrow night, we have the Phoenix Suns. And hopefully, we're going to come out and perform well. Win or lose, I hope that we come out and perform well. So let's start to break this game down and, you know, just kind of see what we got going on here. All right. Tomorrow night, 7:30, ladies and gentlemen, at Madison Square Garden. On your local television, it's on MSG. On radio, you can listen to it on ESPN 98.5. So if you're at work, you don't have the league pass, you ain't got MSG Go or whatever, you're at work, tune into ESPN 98.5 and you can listen to the game. Interim head coach for the Knicks is Mike Miller. Head coach for the Phoenix Suns is Monty Williams. The projected starters for the New York Knicks is Elfrid Payton, R.J. Barrett, Reggie Bullock at small forward, Julius Randle, and Taj Gibson. The injury report for the Knicks, Marcus Morris is still out with a neck injury. Okay, now, you did hear Mike Miller say that he's probably questionable. He ran through some drills today, and, he'll see how he feels afterwards. Okay? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'd like to see Marcus Morris back in the lineup, playing with the guys. But if not, then it is what it is. And we'll keep going the way that we're going. But for now, Marcus Morris, I'm just listing him as questionable. Probably not in the lineup. Frank Ntilikina, he's also questionable with a groin. And Dennis Smith Jr. continues to be out with an oblique injury. For the Phoenix Suns, the projected starters are Eli Okobo, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Dario Saric, and Aron Baynes. Okay, Kelly Oubre is out with a concussion, and Frank Kaminsky, he's out till at least March 1st with a kneecap issue, whatever that issue is there. Okay, so they're going to be down one of their primary players, and Kelly Oubre, I think he dropped 28 or 29 points against us last time we played. So that's a big, that's a lot of points that will be missing out of their lineup tomorrow night. We need to take advantage. We need to take advantage of that. Now, the last time we played, I believe that DeAndre Ayton started, if I remember correctly, but looking at, since then he has not started. The lineup could change. These are projected lineups. So we'll see what happens tomorrow when we get out there, because the lineups can always change. All right, let's take a look at some of the numbers behind the game, the team comparison. The New York Knicks are 11-30 on the season. All right, they're on a one-game losing streak, if you want to call that a streak. They average 104.8 points per game. They give up 113.2 points per game. If they gave up 132 points per game, that'd really be bad. I tell you, in the last 5 games, though, they're pretty close. They're trying to give up that much. All right, but they gave up 113.2 points per game. They shoot 43.4% from the field. They shoot 34% from 3. They average 46.1 rebounds per game. They're averaging 21.2 assists per game and 13.9 turnovers per game. The Knicks' offensive rating is 104.7. That's 27th in the league. And their defensive rating is 113. That's also 27th in the league. All right, the season record, again, for the Phoenix Suns is 16-24. They're on a one-game losing streak as well. They average 113.1 points per game. They give up 114.2 points per game. They're shooting 46.2% from the field, 34.3% from 3, and they average 43.5 rebounds per game. They average 27.6 assists per game and 14.5 turnovers per game. And listen, those 27.6 assists, man, they're real. They do move the basketball. They have a nice system of movement and cutting. And the Knicks, just like we talked about last night, they have a hard time defending teams that move and cut a lot. A hard time defending those teams. I hate playing teams like that. And that's the reason why those type of teams have so many assists, high numbers of assists, because they move and they cut and they pass the ball well. Phoenix Suns are one of these teams, so we're going to have to deal with that, be ready to deal with that tomorrow. I don't know what it is with the Knicks, if it's bad communication, lack of defensive basketball IQ. But we have a hard time dealing with teams that like to slash and like to cut and move the ball well. Have a hard time stopping them in the paint. We have a hard time covering that three-point line. That three-point line has been an issue for years. I don't know what it is. If it's something at the water at Madison Square Garden, I don't know what it is. But it's been that issue for years. And we've had a turnover in lineup, changes in coaches. And we still can't figure out how to defend this three-point line. It's frustrating. The last 5 games for both teams, the Knicks are 1-4. They're averaging 105.6 points per game, and they're giving up a whopping 123.4 points per game in the last 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. And that Milwaukee Bucks game did not help that number at all. Didn't help it at all. The Knicks are shooting 42.8% from the field, 27.1% from 3 in the last 5 games. Offense has not been looking good the last 5 games. All right, they're grabbing 44.4 rebounds per game. They're averaging 21.8 assists, only 11 turnovers. Got to give them that. They only turned the ball over 11 times per game in the last 5 games. They've taken care of the ball all season long. That's a good thing. Now we've got to utilize those possessions. Since we're not turning the ball over, we've got to utilize those possessions to score. We've had some times where we turned it over. Every team does. And we've had some times where we turned it over in bunches, which can really be debilitating to a team. But for the most part, we've taken care of the ball. Now we got to convert those possessions to points. The Knicks' offensive rating in the last 5 games is 103.1. It's 28th in the league. And their defensive rating has been 120.5. That's 30th in the league. Basically, the last 5 games, the Knicks have been the worst team in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns, over the last 5 games, their record is 2-3. They're averaging 105 points per game. They're giving up 108.8 points per game. They're shooting 46.2% from the field, and they're shooting 28.5% from 3. They average 44.4 rebounds per game, 22 assists, and 14.8 turnovers per game. Their offensive rating in the last 5 games has been 104.8. That's 26th in the league. And their defensive rating over the last 5 games has been 109, which is 10th in the league. All right, so they're playing good defense. Now, we'll see how Kelly Oubre being out impacts both sides of the ball because he's a good defender and he can score. He's averaging 18 points per game. All right, so you're taking those 2 things out of their lineup with Kelly Oubre not being there. All right, so we'll see how that impacts the team. Key matchup tomorrow. Devin Booker and R.J. Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. Devin Booker, you see what he... Listen, the last time we played the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker went to work. Without a doubt, he went to work against us. You know, Devin Booker, the last time we played, you know, he dropped like 38 points on us. All right, he was cooking the last time we played. You got to give it up to him. He was killing. He made a lot of people drool and say, man, I want that guy on my team. You see right here, Devin Booker, the last time we played, he had 38 points. He also, he had 38 points. He was killing us from any spot on the floor that he wanted to. So R.J. Barrett, you seen him the last time. And you should have a little bit of fire burning in your belly. Right? Because we know R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett's a tough guy. He's a tough dude. You know he's got some fire burning in his belly. He wants to get that one back. You know what I mean? I don't mean get it back by scoring a whole bunch of points. You know, he just wants to get that one back. He wants to, you know, he's not going to just come out and just let Devin Booker do what he wants to do. All right, Frank Ntilikina is probably not going to play, so we're not going to have an extra defender to throw at him. Reggie Bullock, maybe. Not maybe. I'm pretty sure Reggie Bullock will see some time on him. Okay? All right, because he's also a good defender. And Reggie Bullock may see some time on Devin Booker right from the get-go. We'll see how Mike Miller decides to match up. Mike Miller did call Reggie Bullock his stopper. He said that's our stopper. So we'll see how it goes. See how it goes. All right, RJ Barrett, he's averaging 14.3 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, and 1.1 steals per game. But over the last few games, he's taken that up a notch. I don't know what the exact averages are. All right, I was going to look up and find those exact averages, but I didn't exactly have enough time to do that. But we all know that he's been probably the best player on the team over the last 5 or 6 games. All right, he's really been cooking. As a matter of fact, RJ Barrett over the last, I don't know what it was. I used to have one up here, but I don't have it up here. Anyway, RJ Barrett's been cooking over the last few games. So he should be able to give Devin Booker, really make Devin Booker work on the defensive side of the ball. All right, and that's what we're going to need. We're going to need Devin Booker to have to work on the defensive side and then play some really good defense on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about some keys to the game. All right, but since we're talking about RJ Barrett and what he has been doing over the last few games, let's take a listen to RJ Barrett. All right, and hear what he's got to say. It's RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen.
Still haven't got the damn touch yet. I'm going right now.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, let's make it snappy. I'm about to go get it today.
So wait, does that mean if you get the haircut, does that mean no headband?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Think about maybe the hair thing giving you that?
I don't know, man. Normally my hair is I always say it's my superpower. But nah, it's been all right.
RJ, now that you're halfway through, how do you evaluate the first season?
I think it was okay. I was able to learn a lot. I feel like I'm now in the games. I kind of know certain small things that are helping me out a little bit. So I've been improving over time.
Sometimes, people are doing something new, everything feels faster and then it starts to slow down a little bit. Have you had that experience looking back from day one? Has anything slowed down?
I guess what's kind of changed is for me, I feel like I played against most of the teams now, so I kind of know, like, I've kind of seen a lot of people, seen a lot of players, see how the teams play. So next time, you automatically know certain little things. So that was good.
Have a lot of teams been going underneath on the screen?
Yeah. Every team is different. Some teams go under, some teams go over. I guess it just depends on the game.
Do you feel like you're being rewarded for the work you're putting in, for your three-point shooting, your free throw shooting seems to be getting better?
I told you, I said I'm keep working on it. It's a matter of time, I feel like everybody coming into the league, like all the stars, you see where they're at when they first came in and see where they're at now. It's just the work you put in, it shows.
What tweaks or changes have you made to the free throw shot to get it up?
Nothing. I've just been shooting it a lot. Before I leave every practice, I got to make 10 or 15 in a row before I get off the court. So, just little things.
How much is your confidence now growing with some of the performances you've had back to back?
My confidence was always high. It never wavered. Even in bad games, I feel like I get good shots, and if I just missed them that game, and like I said, like a game like yesterday, it was the same shots I normally take, I just made them. So.
Has that always been the case? Like Mike was talking about approach and how you kind of push away the last play, last game, whatever, just focus on the play. Has that always been a part of what you do on the court, or did you kind of have to develop that?
Yeah, my thing is like, as soon as the game's over, it's done. I guess the only thing you can really do is kind of watch film, but you can't really be too worried about what happened in the game or be down on yourself about what happened. Watch and see where you can improve.
How have you dealt with, I think you're 32 and 6 last year too. How have you dealt with so much losing this bad?
I've just been, like I said, I've been trying to learn a lot, trying to learn the business, trying to learn, the game as much as I can, so that, hopefully as this team keeps growing and I could be a piece to a winning team.
How important RJ will be to bring the energy right from the beginning tomorrow against the Wooten?
Yeah, for sure. We played them a couple weeks ago or last week, and it was a fight to the end. So kind of want to get that one back.
I know he was here in camp. How much have you seen of Kenny, and how would you kind of describe his athleticism?
He's a freak. I've seen Kenny on my visit to Oregon. I see Kenny put tape in his hand, jump and touch the top of the backboard, and we had to get a ladder to get the tape down. So he's crazy.
Do you see any of his stuff on like Twitter too throughout?
All the time. Me and Kenny talk a lot. Me and Kenny talk almost every day. So yeah, that's my guy.
How happy are you for him?
I was so happy when I heard. Definitely congratulated him. And just he brings a certain positivity and great energy into a team.
Did he try to recruit you hard?
Not that much, but I've known him for a couple of years, so it's good to see him up here.
Have you ever seen anybody else do that?
No, I haven't. That was absolutely ridiculous. Maybe Mitch. Maybe Mitch could do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him talking about Kenny Wooten right there. Jumped up and put tape on the top of the backboard. That's pretty crazy, but, we already know what kind of leaping ability he has. But you heard RJ Barrett, talk about, the way that, some of the reasons that he's playing well right now. As he has kind of learned the game a little bit, maybe slowing down a little bit for him. He's understanding where he can get his shots off, and he's working in those areas so that he can get his. When he gets the ball in those areas, he can be efficient, right? Because we've seen all season long that he would be, he'd get open in the corner, wasn't knocking it down. Last few games, he's been knocking it down. My man in the chat, Hadouken Sharon. Or Hadouken Sharon, however you say your name, said he's averaging 19 and 6, shooting 45% from the field and 43% from three over the past few games. All right, that's very good. Very good. Again, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 45% from the field, 43% from three over the past few games. All right, that's RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so he should be able to make Devin Booker work a little bit for what he wants. All right. So let's continue talking about our matchup, and then I got a couple guys here in the video chat that we're going to get to shortly. All right. We're going to get to it shortly, and like you heard RJ Barrett say, they want this one back. He wants it back. RJ Barrett for you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Next matchup, DeAndre Ayton and Mitchell Robinson. We'll see if DeAndre Ayton is going to come off the bench or if he's going to be a starter. All right. The last time we played him, he had about 15 points and 13 rebounds. He went to work. All right. He's a beast down there. I'm not going to lie to you. When I see him do some of his moves, he looks and reminds me of Patrick Ewing a little bit. Down there in the post, I'm just telling you what I see. You might see something different, but I just seen flashes of looking like a young Patrick Ewing down there a little bit. DeAndre Ayton is 6'11", 250. He's a center. Averages 15.9 points per game, 11.1 rebounds per game. He averages 1.8 assists and 1.6 blocks per game. He's shooting 54% from the field. And that's not 54%. I'm not knocking Mitch, but that's not 54% of just, catching alley-oops. That's 54% of actually post work. Mitchell Robinson, 7 foot, 240, is a center. He's averaging 9.9 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 0.5 assists, and 1.7 blocks per game. And he's shooting 71.3% from the field. And that's because he catches a lot of alley-oops. One of these days, he's going to expand what he does on the court. He's going to get that little mid-range jump shot. Hopefully, he'll learn some post moves, some things like that. We'll give him some time. He'll get there. You know what I'm saying? You'll see him averaging 15, 16, 17 points per game. One of these days, he's going to get there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, but that's a matchup we're going to be looking forward to seeing as well. And look, Mitch is not going to be the only guy guarding DeAndre Ayton. There's going to be some other people out there that guard, but right, that's a matchup we're going to see, and I'm going to enjoy watching that matchup. Some of the keys to the game. Number one, let's defend the paint and defend the three, ladies and gentlemen. Please. It's killing me every time I watch a game and we can't defend those two areas. Because in today's NBA, you're either at the basket or you're shooting the three. There's still some players that knock down the mid-range, but for the most part, you're at those two areas. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to be able to defend those two areas. As a matter of fact, let's try to force people to shoot mid-ranges. They don't want to shoot them. Let's try to force them to. That's much easier said than done, I know. But we got to defend the paint. We can't let people just get right to the rim with their fingernails, scrape the orange off the rim. Can't do that. Then guys getting wide open threes where they got 3 seconds before anybody can even get to them. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. You're going to have to help out on Devin Booker. Devin Booker has an advanced offensive game. Now Devin Booker will play in the mid-range. He'll knock down the mid-range shot. He'll knock down the three. He'll take it to the basket. He can do whatever he wants on the floor. He's a talented offensive player, man. Got to give him that. So, help out RJ Barrett a little bit with Devin Booker. Throw Reggie Bullock at him. Right? Give him different looks. Double team him. Don't double team him. Like, you got to throw different things at him. Make him think a little bit on the court. Not just go wild. Because last time he went wild against us. 38 points. Kelly Oubre is out. Right? Let's not let ancillary players get hot. The last time there were 4 players in double digits. 4 players did all of their scoring. Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre, DeAndre Ayton, somebody else. Baynes. And Baynes. He scored. Aron Baynes. Those 4 players did all of their scoring. Everybody else were in single digits. And most of them low single digits. One other person had 9, I think. Ricky Rubio had 9 points. Everybody else was 3, 4, 0. So now one of those players, Kelly Oubre, is out. Right? That's 18 points average per game out. He had 28 against us last time. That's 18 points out. Somebody else will pick up the slack somewhere, of course. But let's not let these ancillary players get hot. Make Baynes, Booker, and Ayton beat us. And see if we can get 3 guys that can be hot. RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and somebody else, because Marcus Morris ain't going to be there. Probably isn't going to be there. Somebody else we need to get hot, or let's have some good, balanced scoring. Move the basketball. Man movement, ball movement. Let's get some balanced scoring out there. Let's outscore their bench. We should outscore their bench. Let's get some good balanced scoring. Make them have to work on the defensive side of the ball. Last 5 games, they're 10th in the league in defense. So let's make their defense work. Let's see if it's really real. Are they really, really the 10th best team in the league right now as far on the defensive side of the ball? Or did they just get hot for a couple of games? Let's test it out. Make them move. Make them work. Make them have to communicate. Make them have to talk. On the offensive side, let's play. Let's continue. Let's play with some tempo. Now, the Phoenix Suns, listen, they're one of the best teams at stopping the fast break. I think they're 3rd in the league with opponents scoring against them on the fast break. All right, meaning they're good in transition. They have good transition defense. All right. Playing with tempo is not just transition defense, though. Playing with tempo is also, once you get into that half-court set, playing with tempo is not just transition offense. When you get into that half-court set, moving the ball with some velocity, moving with pace, you know what I'm saying? Not standing and holding and watching, cutting with some speed, with some conviction, those type of things. That's also playing with tempo. Let's see if we can play with some tempo, and then let's score in the paint. The Suns give up 49.7 points per game in the paint. Right? Let's score inside. Let's see if we can get Mitchell Robinson on some lobs. Let's get Julius Randle running to the basket. Not just posting up midway, at the high post or down low. Let's see if we can get him moving towards the basket. See if we can get some buckets. See if we can get some points inside, scoring the paint. They give up 49.7 points per game. I think that's in the paint. I think that's 23rd in the league or something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the guys that's in the video chat, talk a little bit. All right, let's talk to these guys, see what they're thinking about this game. And if we can, and I do that every time. I always forget, and I do that every single time. I don't mean to bring up the screen, and then I bring it up, and I don't got the thing set right. Anyway, whatever. You know what I mean? It's the little things, Sim. It's the little things. Get the little things right, and you'll be okay. Guillermo, coming to you, man. Give me a second. Let me get everything unmuted. Go ahead, man. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, Sim? Chilling, man. Look at this game, man. I ain't gonna say it's winnable. I ain't gonna say another game is winnable. Whatever. But I think one thing, not say you miss it, but I think one thing that we have to focus on too is the pick and roll, man, because Devin Booker killed us in the fourth quarter with that pick and roll, and he wasn't chucking up threes. He was killing us in the mid-range. And it was almost like, using a running back to kind of wear down a defense late in the game. If you saw, they just kept abusing that pick and roll. And again, this is a Devin Booker who is not the same Devin Booker that we saw last year, where he's hogging the ball and he's trying to, they're trying to use him as this point guard / shooting guard type of role. They have Rubio now. And I think another thing is that we have to play the passing lanes, right? Rubio's a guy who's not going to, he's not going to sit there and try to score on you, even though he's a capable scorer. He's not going to sit there and try to score on you. He's always trying to look for the pass. In Monty Williams' system, especially early on when they played this in the first half, they were moving the ball a lot. The ball got around a lot in that offense. And then they kind of killed us with Oubre, in the threes. And then what's his boy's name? Booker. Obviously, Oubre's out. But Payne also, he was killing us in the first half. I can't remember what he had in the second half, but I remember he was getting his shots off in the first half, man. And that's up to Mitch. Mitch has to, if it's not necessarily, playing man-up defense as soon as he gets the ball and trying to get a block every possession. It's also frustrating his leverage, right? When he's sitting there trying to post up, get in front of him, frustrated. So Rubio's now trying to look for the pass. He can't get it because, look, you're 7'3". You get in front of a guy like Ayton. Yes, he's 7'3", but you're 7'3". Oh, they're both 7'3". I don't know how tall each one is, but they're above 7 feet. So, Rubio trying to get that pass off, if he's trying to dump it off, disrupt it. You don't have to use your strength. Learn other ways to kind of throw those guys off rhythm. The Suns, to me, their offense, it works off rhythm. Last game, they killed us with Oubre and then Devin Booker with the pick and roll being in rhythm. You know what I mean? So all in all, again, defend the pick and roll. Like you said, don't let the ancillary plays beat us. The guys like Saric, guys like Mikal Bridges, who I secretly won in that draft, but, we didn't get him. Disrupt those guys, or don't allow those guys to kill us from the perimeter, because that's probably where they're going to be looking to kill us. A guy like Saric can space out. Mikal Bridges was known for shooting threes. I don't know what he's doing this year. He's probably not shooting that well. Yeah, like you said, man, that disrupt the pick and roll, get the passing lanes, disrupt the passing lanes, man. Once you get those steals, this is a team you could bludgeon in terms of defense, right? You disrupt the passing lanes. Now you're going to turn Devin Booker into a guy where he's probably going to get, not to say frustrated, but it's going to turn to a plan B where it's put the ball in Devin Booker's hands and try to make him try to salvage or get the team out of the rudders, right? So to me, man, those are my keys to the game, man. And if you get Devin Booker trying to jack up shots, 40 shots a game, shooting, 30-some% from the field, that's a very winnable game.
Yeah. Right. Now, I mean, who are you putting on that? Are you putting RJ on Devin Booker right off the bat, or are you going to try Reggie Bullock, or what?
I want RJ because, again, to me, RJ, he rises to the occasion. What we've seen from offense has been fairly impressive, but I want to see a game where RJ Barrett, man for man. Now, obviously, they're going to use picks to try to get RJ Barrett off if he's defending well. But I want to see RJ Barrett initially on Booker. But again, Booker, they use Booker as basically traditional two now, right? Because they have Rubio. So it's not going to necessarily be Booker trying to cross him up and do all this stuff. They're going to try to get Booker out in space, get him to switch. But yeah, I would like to see RJ, but I want to see him rise to the occasion. Does he, how does he play the pick and roll? Does he come around the picks, smartly, and it's also for the team itself because again, you don't necessarily in certain situations. Yes, Booker could shoot off, so you may want to have him come around the screens, but you also want your big man to kind of peak too, where it's like, all right, I'm not letting Devin Booker get that shot off, but I'm gonna run back to the big man. Steven Adams, the better centers of the league do that really well. So yeah, I would like to see Booker, RJ Barrett on him, but in terms of the whole defense, I want to see the whole defense, how they react and how they adapt to what the Suns did to them last game, because what they did to us in the fourth quarter, we had no answer for it. So
right,
I want to see how we adapt to that.
Right. And I want to see Mitch have a return game. I think he misses Frank Ntilikina out there on the offensive side of the ball. Those two guys they have good chemistry, good ESP. So I think he's missing him on the offensive side of the ball. I want to see Mitch, have a game. He's had a few rough ones. I want to see him have a good game. Get that, I don't know if he's ever losing confidence, but get that.
Now sometimes you can see it. You can see it. Like, look, what happened to us yesterday? We got bludgeoned, right? And guys got taken out the play, right? There's a play where Giannis did some Euro step, and then there were like 3 guys just watching him get to the basket. I don't remember if Mitch was in that time. I got to look back, but you can see sometimes Mitch mentally get taken out of the game. I want this team that when their offense isn't doing well, it doesn't affect their defense. Because like I said, your defense, look, I'm telling you, you guys all know, man, some of the best, greatest two-way players of all time, they've had games where they were shooting 30-some% from the field. The shot was just not falling. But they won that game because their defense, like, go look at Dwayne Wade, old Dwayne Wade videos. Go look at Jordan videos. You know what I mean? Like, these guys, Kobe Bryant, even though Kobe Bryant will chuck, he doesn't even care. He could be shooting 10%. He's going to shoot 50 shots a game. But in Kobe Bryant's prime, when he was, he's a top defender, these guys, they would not let their bad shooting get to them. Obviously, they were go-to guys anyway, so they're going to get the ball regardless. But their defense, sometimes they took games off sometimes here and there, but all in all, sometimes they use that defense to get them back. And I want to see Mitchell Robinson, because his game is really alley-oop kind of garbage points, put back ins. So it's fairly limited, right? And that whole thing, you made a great point, is that, Frank, because Frank is such a pass-first point guard, when Frank is penetrating to the basket and he has a guy right in front of him, he's looking for that pass to Mitch. Mitch has to adapt to, now look, I got a major, and now that Oubre is out, they're probably going to be going to Ayton a lot more. Ayton's going to try to use his little mid-range shot. He's going to try to play a little bully ball, establish leverage. How can I disrupt him to where he's ineffective? And even if I don't score 15 points, 18, 20 points, I'm a plus on the sheet. I'm a terror. Now they're trying to take shots away from me because I'm a terror. I want to see one of those old, maybe it's not a great example because the old Mitch Robinson, he's only 2 years. But anyway, from last season, second half, where he was having blocking dudes out on the perimeter, I want to see him play with that same zeal and that same aggressiveness, but not in the sense where he's jumping for everything, because he has to keep his feet. They have a scouting report on him that if you do a good fake, he'll jump and fly to the other half of the court. I want to see him how he played last year when DJ was here, when he was keeping his feet, shuffling his feet, and guys were literally like trying to pump fake, and it was like, all right, I got to reset. To me, nothing shows up on a stat sheet, but in that situation, if a guy has to pass out the ball, if he can't score you like he was planning to do, that's a win. I want Mitchell Robinson, Coach Miller, I want the coach staff to reiterate to him, yes, you've won that battle. Keep doing it. Because when you look up and the shot clock is 4 seconds left and they don't have a good shot up, you cause that. When you look up and the score is tied or whatever is a fourth quarter is close, because Ayton went, he shot 30% from 40% from the field, 30% from the field or something like that. He wasn't having a good game, couldn't really finish on you, couldn't really establish a shot. You won. You did good. So that's what I want to see these guys. Same thing for Knox too, man. A lot of these guys, they think very linear in terms of, I got to score. That's the only value I have in a team, especially Knox. I want to see Mitch and I want to see Knox where they're playing defense and that invigorates them. And maybe it doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but you look at the plus minus, your PRs, whatever you want to call it, defensive efficiencies, blah, blah, blah. And it's through the roof because they're focused on their man and they're shutting down their man. That's it, man.
Nick.
Hey, man.
What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
Can't complain, man. I'm good.
Good. What's your take, man? What do you think about this game? And Guillermo, you're still live, but What's your take, Nick?
One thing Atlanta had played, I think, last night, right? I'm sorry, the Suns played last night against Atlanta, and Ricky Rubio was out. He was out because he's expecting his kid to be born, first child. Congrats to him. But if you think of Elfrid Payton, I think this game could actually be matched up between Elfrid Payton and Ricky Rubio, point guard play. And if Elfrid Payton could get his act together, because he's been real off since his kid's been born, and then if you think Rubio coming back from similar type circumstance might be a little bit off too, even though he's been playing well all season.
I is he coming back tomorrow night?
Just the way that the way Elfrid Payton organizes our offense, and then also the way Elfrid Payton could defend, per se, Rubio to disrupt their offense, because the way the Suns, and I just listened to Locked On Suns just before I came on here, just so I know how they play. They've been saying basically if Devin Booker is like the only one, it has it going, everyone else suffers. And then Ricky Rubio is the one that gets everyone else going. So if you think Elfrid Payton, from a defensive standpoint, could disrupt Ricky Rubio in any way, shape, or form, it'll disrupt everyone else on offense. Now you're talking about no Kelly Oubre, which I thought that would have been the big matchup, Kelly Oubre versus RJ. And in a sense, Julius Randle versus Devin Booker, because those two are going to give you the scoring, but not much defense. Kelly Oubre and RJ Barrett could bring it to a tie, but then Rubio, who gets the offense going for everyone else, if you disrupt him, you disrupt the rest of the team, which it actually could happen. The second thing that the Suns broadcast guys said was that their bench had been really lacking, and they were thinking about putting Mikal Bridges on the bench. Since when Rubio was out last night, they put Mikal Bridges on lead guards, meaning Trae Young, to try to defend Trae Young. It didn't work last night, but if Mikal Bridges is on, Elfrid Payton, or even Kadeem Allen, Mikal Bridges might shut one of them down. So it's all about Elfrid Payton winning his matchup and keeping the team going.
So is Ricky Rubio definitely coming back tomorrow?
I don't know, because the way they said it, it didn't sound like he was going to play. But I'm looking it up now, and it doesn't say that he's out.
Right.
So, and it doesn't even say that he's questionable. So I might be wrong.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But those are some good points, man. I mean, Ricky Rubio, he gets everybody else involved. Doesn't have to get Devin Booker involved. Gets everybody else involved. And if he's not there, or if you can rattle him a little bit, because that's the thing. The last time we played him, 4 guys did all the scoring. 4 guys: Kelly Oubre, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and Baynes did all the scoring. You know what I mean? Everybody else was in the single digits. I think Ricky Rubio had 9 points. Everybody else was like 3, 4, 0, 3. Because the bench really hasn't been playing that well. If we can keep those guys not scoring, and now you got a big, Kelly Oubre is out, we should really, really have a chance. Now, the thing is, they play in the type of system where there's a lot of ball and man movement. So easily, another one of those ancillary parts could get hot.
Well,
because of the way that they play.
One thing, Sim, is that they were trying to make was whenever Devin Booker is going, everyone else suffers. Because, and that, how they used to say, let Kobe score all the points, let T-Mac score all the points, and then they're not going to pass enough to keep everyone else going, and everyone's offensive flow isn't, that good. In a sense, you kind of say Devin Booker beat us, score 70 points, but everyone else is going to score like 2. And then DeAndre Ayton, he's just getting his legs back after being suspended. So he's probably at the 15-game mark right now. And he just scored 20 points and 20 and 10 last night. Before that, he was like around 10, 15 points per game. So you're talking about whoever it is, whether it be Taj. Taj has to be like veteran savvy against them, use all the tricks in the book. Whoever is the point guard or whoever it is, they got to drive the ball hard and get them into foul trouble if possible. You know, like we got to be real careful on not letting Ayton be the second scorer because Devin Booker's going to get his. Everyone else got to be shut down and or limited to some degree, you know?
So how about this? How about when Ayton gets the ball in the post and he's trying to set up in the post, if Devin Booker's not on his side, which I'm assuming he probably won't be because you probably have Rubio who probably dump it off unless Devin Booker comes around up top, you know, disrupt him, double team, and then pop right back out if he makes a successful pass. I mean, I want to see the Knicks defense, like how the Bucks played us, man. Like that defense, it was like they were on drugs, like on cocaine, just like zoomed in on, like we could not breathe at times. Like it was stifling. You know what I mean? And I want to see a defense where it's active but it's smart, right? So once you set the double team, once he puts the ball down, he dribbles. If he has the lane to pass, then you reset. That other guy who came and helped, you reset back. You know what I mean? You don't have to say that now. If you have him trapped in, say, a corner, something like that, he turns around, he makes a Julius Randle turn into the wrong side, then yeah, you trap him there. You try to get the ball. But, you know, again, Monty Williams has these guys playing a lot more off ball where there's a lot more movement. Guys are moving around. So the thing I'm scared of is that DeAndre Ayton gets the ball in the post. Some guy comes around, curls into the middle, and our double team doesn't sense that. We play him, you know, our double team just comes in, like we're not seeing that type of. So it's just playing it smart. Like I said, play the passing lanes against him, but double team and disrupt him. Make sure he doesn't have any place really to set down and dribble and take the little shot or to try to bully Mitch. You know, I mean, you can't put it. Not say we should put it all on Mitch. I don't want to put it all on Mitch and Taj, but all around should be a smart because you don't have a guy like Kelly Oubre who can slash in and, you know, like he killed us with 3 last time. You know, he's not a great 3-point shooter. Killed us with the 3 last time. So they're gonna put the onus on guys like Mikal Bridges, put on Dario Saric, and also Baynes. You know what I mean? So and Baynes killed us, but you know.
And that's one thing, man. Baynes really killed us, and Mitch does this a lot. He's gonna have to learn how to guard these centers that can shoot threes. I don't know how many times we've seen guys like Baynes and other centers that can knock down threes, Brook Lopez, wide open out there because, you know, Mitch either gets caught, he's helping out somebody else, and then, you know, that person is wide open, you know, from the 3-point line. And obviously it's something that he's going to have to learn how to deal with in the NBA. But right now, teams recognize it, and they're taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? And I'm a little bit afraid about Baynes right now if he's matching up with Mitch in the game.
Well, one thing, Sim, the guys from the broadcast brought this point up about Aron Baynes too. They said that Aron Baynes in the last 30 games been shooting 26% from 3. So he started off the season real hot, but then he got real cold. I mean, he's frigid right now.
Yeah, I mean, we played him just what?
Not against us. Yeah.
Right, not against us. We played him just 12 days ago, and he was killing against us.
Well, but the reason why I mentioned that is.
Oh,
hello?
Oh, Nick got cut off.
Oh, I think he got knocked out or something. Let's see if he's still there. Nick, you back?
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you go.
I thought that was me. My internet sucks.
No, I hit the refresh button by mistake. But the point that they were making about Aron Baynes was that he, like I said, he started off the season real hot. He got real cold, and somewhere the truth is in the middle. Mm-hmm. And what we were just saying is that DeAndre Ayton is getting into form. Aron Baynes is going backwards. So when you talk about Mitch, if you talk about defending Aron Baynes, I think it more depends on the guys from the bench. Like our bench has to outshine their bench. Their weakness is their bench. So if Aron Baynes is coming in, who's going to defend Aron Baynes? Is it going to be Mitch? Is it going to be Bobby Portis? Et cetera. Like those guys really have to hold Aron Baynes down because when they go to their bench, they don't have a good backup point guard. They don't have. They were talking about moving Mikal Bridges to the bench, but they can't. So like they're in a conundrum right now.
The thing though with Aaron, and one thing you don't want to do is give any guy open shots because that could get his confidence up, his focus back. And Knicks, I don't think we have one of the better perimeter defenses at all. So I can only imagine Aron Baynes been probably playing against, front courts that can actually defend a lot better than Knicks. Now, to who we should put on defending, if you have Aron Baynes and I don't know, this might be out. If you have Aron Baynes and DeAndre Ayton, I would prefer Mitch on Ayton. Just so he doesn't have, because I think one thing with Mitch is that he doesn't want to be beat. He doesn't want to be beat on the, which is weird because when you saw him in a Team USA thing, maybe that little injury kind of took away some of his confidence. Because when you saw him in that Team USA, what's it in a little tryout or whatever they called it, he was out there against who's a young dude he came out.
He was out there against Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma got him on a couple of plays, but
yeah, and it's like you see him now, like you said, Sim, he doesn't want to be out there on the perimeter with these big guys, but I don't know, maybe the injury, maybe it kind of, spooked him a little bit. He doesn't want to mess up his next contract or whatever, maybe the knee thing. So that's what I'm thinking because he wasn't like this really last year or into the summer. So I'd rather pour this out on a guy like Baynes who, yes, Baynes was hot at the three-point, but he's also very linear, right? So Baynes not going to sit there and crush you up once he gets the hezzy on you or something like that. He's very linear how he plays. So that's why I prefer
now
the matchup.
Baynes against us in the last game, he had 20 points, but Nick, you're right. He was 2 for 8 from the 3-point line, so he was 25% from 3.
Yeah, he's cold, man.
He was 25% from 3. He still shot 43.8% from the field. Now, of course, inside the Knicks are, we're vulnerable inside too. So, I mean, what can we do? I mean, and like I was saying earlier, that's the two areas. Not as many teams shoot mid-range shots. It's at the basket, somewhere around the basket, or the 3, or shooting the 3, right? And we can't defend either area.
But Sam, just to go to Gambo's other point, where we were talking about like defending just guys on the perimeter and stuff. Who is the starting 5 for this game, really? Because to me, I think you put Mitch in the game. So I've been thinking Mitch should start, period. But Mitch in the game versus Ayton. But Mitch has to come in with a disciplined mindset that he's not gonna foul out or go for the fakes because he isn't strong enough to guard DeAndre Ayton, because Ayton is very advanced in the post, especially compared to Mitch's defense in the post. So you don't want Mitch to foul out. One of the reasons he didn't make you at Team USA is because he constantly fouled out. Mitch could be the deciding factor for this team. One of the other things that for Mitch that I saw in one of these games, I can't remember which one, was a drive to the basket. Like they could easily give him the ball in a pinch post and make him drive to the basket, and that would add a wrinkle to the game.
Well, how about when they do that, instead of him staying in the post and waiting for the guy to come around for that stupid handoff, how about you just triple threat? Just take one dribble if you need to and just hit the little mid-range shot. Because the centers, a lot of times, they actually sag off of him.
Yes,
because they know he's not doing anything, even when he's not, I don't say close to the post in terms of like one step he's to the basket, even though one step for anywhere Mitch might be close to that. In terms of that stupid little handoff they do like a foot or so away from the inside the three-point line, a lot of times the center is just sagging off him. I would literally just fake it. I'd fake the handoff, let the point guard or whoever who's guarding the guys coming around, fake attack guy, let him keep running, dribble one step into the foul line, and just hit the shot. You're right there. Simple as that.
The 3. Because a lot of times he's left open at the 3, and he could take it.
And we ain't going to the playoffs this year. You might as well get all that out now.
Even if he shoots an air ball, he clanks it, whatever it is, just shoot it. Just shoot it. So what? Just shoot it. Everybody else will miss threes too.
I would. If I was a coach, I would punish Mitch. Like, if you want more minutes, I actually want to see you shoot 3 shots a game.
Yeah.
3 shots a game. I don't care if it clanks. I don't care if it's
Now,
we're the best offensive rebound team, so it's up to us to. Even that's because we miss a lot of shots, but it's up to us to get the rebounds, and that becomes a directive for the whole team. Once Mitch shoots that shot, I want to see at least 2 guys crashing the boards. If you're close nearby, I want to see guys being more active on the boards. That's it. Give the kid confidence. It makes no sense. This guy has a nice foul shot. And he shot once. I saw him shoot.
He did it once.
One time. I think he can. He shot it one time and shot an air ball. Maybe he got afraid from that. Who knows? But he's got to do it.
Do you remember the one he shot in the the baseline, near the baseline?
Yeah.
And it was like another guy was like, one of his guys actually kind of like right in front of him, and he shot it, and it was pretty. It went like, yo, bro, like, we ain't going to the playoffs anyway. You might as well just get it all
Even if we
out,
were
man.
going to the playoffs, even if we were in contention, you would still want him to do that. Because the opportunity is there. If the opportunity is there, let him start developing that. DeAndre Ayton, last night when they played the Hawks, or whatever it was when they played the Hawks, last game they played the Hawks, DeAndre Ayton came off the bench. So I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to come off the bench again tomorrow night.
So wait, was it he got suspended, or was it because of that foot injury that he wasn't playing?
Earlier in the season, he got suspended earlier in the season.
But when he played us, right, he was coming off a foot injury, right, or something like that, or ankle foot injury, or something like that.
He might have been. I'm not sure. I think when he played us, he was coming off of an ankle or foot. He was coming off of an injury, so he was suspended earlier in the season. Then when he played us, he was coming off of an injury or something.
Gotcha.
But I think he started. He started when he played us.
He started when he played. Yeah, he did.
He started, but I don't know if he's going to start tomorrow night.
Us.
So we'll see. We're going to see how it looks, man. It's going to be an interesting game.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that.
It's going to be an interesting game. We'll see what's up. Sooner or later, when Kenny Wooten is playing, we'll have another shot blocker out there too. Another guy that can block some shots.
Did you guys discuss Trier already, Sim?
Not much, a little bit.
What is it? Is he getting a directive to not play? Because don't get me wrong, the explanation wasn't that good, man. We have a lot of wing guards. It's like, huh? I don't get it. That's not. Why can't this kid get minutes? And he's been doing. It seems like he's doing certain things that you asked him to do.
My thing is, why would he get a directive to not play Trier when they gave him? He's making $3 million this year, right? Why would they give him a directive to not play Trier? I could see if you're saying, well, it's the trade deadline, maybe they want to trade him, but it's been like this since the beginning of the season. Yeah. So I don't think it's a directive.
I'm grasping at straws. I have no idea. Like, bro, you got to help me. It doesn't make any sense why this kid's not playing. Unless it's, hey, we're going to give him heavy minutes once the trade deadline comes, when you trade certain guys or blah, blah, blah. We're just trying to showcase certain guys. If that's the case, then okay, but I don't know, man. Like, you can't really trade a guy that you're not playing in terms of if they want to trade Trier, because they're not really showcasing him. And to me, again, he's doing little things that it feels like, I think the team, they're asking for this stuff, man. He's getting rid of the ball a lot quicker. He's not being a black hole on the offense as much as he was before. You tell him, and he's still, I don't know what his averages are, but when he's in there, he's shooting decently, like he's making shots. Like, I don't know, man.
It's tough to say. Definitely tough to say why he's not playing. Kyrie 420 said Trier did something bad and they're not telling us.
I think so. I
don't know. I mean, if you did something bad, it does not last for this long.
There's certain things that you could say, Sim, that is probably I don't know. He must have told Steve Mills to do something
bad, then you just waive him, right?
So,
if you did something that bad, you just waive him.
It's the thing that he was playing with Kevin Durant over the summer, or no? Remember he was playing like 2K with Kevin Durant or some kind of crap?
I don't think so, because they've been friends. Him and Kevin Durant have been friends ever since he was in high school. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kevin Durant has been friends since he's been in high school. So I don't think it's that. I'm pretty sure that they knew that him and Kevin Durant were friends.
Yeah.
And you think that the Knicks would be mad because Kevin Durant kind of spurned the Knicks or something?
Yeah.
kind of spurring him, and so we're like, oh, we're gonna take it out on Zoe.
The funniest thing is that it's so petty, but that sounds so Nick-like.
Well, check it out. He's gonna be a free agent this summer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him be in Brooklyn. I would not be surprised to see him go to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
Oh,
yeah.
my Lord.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Trier go to Brooklyn. Right?
Yeah, watch how
I
Brooklyn
mean,
played today too, man.
but then you're playing behind some good guards there, of course, but still.
Nah, but if you guys think the situation for Trier is bad now, I watch how the Brooklyn Nets play. I'm telling you, Kyrie Irving, I put money, you're going to start hearing rumors that they want to get rid of him, because as talented as Kyrie Irving is, as one of my favorite assassins, that ball does not move around
I know.
good enough. And I watched that Sixers game, and the Sixers came back. I believe they won because I was at the gym. They were up by 10. They were down by like 4 or 5. Yeah. If Trier goes there, it ain't gonna be better for him. So I don't know what the Knicks are doing, but to me, it just man. Trier, he's a talented player, man. He was averaging 44 from the field last year, and he plays. His defense is inconsistent, but he
he's
tries.
A decent defender.
Yeah, and that's one thing you can ask.
Plays
you can't,
hard.
you try to ask
Defender.
from these young guys, man. Just try.
I mean, it really is weird for me, right? Because we all expected that he was going to come in. You know, we looked at the numbers that he had. There were some people that thought he was going to be the shooting guard.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone expected he was going to be, a jump starter off the bench. A guy that can come in at the drop of a dime and give you buckets. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't get it. I think if he did something that bad, though, people are saying some crazy, weird stuff in the chat. If he did something that bad, right, then I think they would just waive him. He's $3 million. I don't think he did anything bad at all. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Trier's mom, if you're here, or sister, or family, can you help us out, please? Let us know. Just tell us something, man. Like this, how's Trier feeling? Because this doesn't make any sense, man. Like Mike Miller really gave the political answer because he really didn't have anything to say. Yeah. Like what type of answer? We have a bunch of wins, but you're playing Ellington. Like, don't get me wrong. Ellington could go out tonight or tomorrow night and score 50 points. Ellington is going to be still hard to trade because it's Ellington. You know what I mean? Like, dude.
Right. It's Ellington. He sucks.
No offense.
And I hate the fact that I thought
that sounds terrible.
I hate the fact that I thought that guy was going to get some burn too. He sucks.
I thought, I was saying, hey, he could be probably be solid for us, man, but nah.
It's trash.
Reggie Bullock has kind of destroyed any idea that Ellington should be getting any minutes over guys like Bullock or even Dotson, who hasn't been scoring, necessarily too well recently. But Ellington, I mean, I don't get it, man. The Knicks are we're a weird team, man. But
yeah,
hopefully he gets burned tomorrow. I don't know.
We'll see. Now that they've asked Mike Miller about it, I don't know if he's kind of the opposite of Fizdale. With Fizdale, a lot of times I felt if the press or the media or the fans asked about a certain player, all of a sudden that guy's playing.
Oh,
right. So and he kind of confirmed that. When he did that interview the other day, and he was talking about how it's hard to win it's hard to rebuild in New York because the fans want a winner and they want it now and all this kind of stuff because they've been waiting for so long. So it kind of tells me that he really was listening to fans and hearing what fans are saying and hearing all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like every time the fans were asking, time to play Frank Ntilikina, play Frank Ntilikina, play Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina's playing. Dude, play this guy, play this guy, play this guy. That guy starts playing. I felt like he was listening to the fans. I really do feel like he was listening to the fans. I don't think Mike Miller gives a damn.
Because you know why Mike Miller doesn't give a damn? Because he has a plan.
Yeah,
when coaches have plans, they don't listen to us per se. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We're fans, right? We're sitting here. We don't watch the film study with these guys. We don't know what's on the court. We don't know how these guys are feeling. Fizdale, to me, and I'm not trying to ish on him, he hasn't badmouthed the Knicks, so I salute him for that. Because a lot of guys have badmouthed the Knicks once they left. He hasn't said one negative thing about the Knicks, so I salute him for that. But the guy just was not a coach really with a plan. And like you said, man, like, bro, clear out all the noise. You play. It's just I'm just like we mentioned with the directive. I just said that because I don't know why his kid's not playing. I hope he's not getting it from somebody to not play this guy. I just, I'd rather
don't
see
know.
the kid play.
I just couldn't see. I can't see why. I mean, if they did something, if he did something wrong, right? Something small that's wrong. You discipline him, and then you let it be in the past. If he really did something treacherous, then you get him off the team. You know what I'm saying?
But some people, Sim, they want to see the torture where, I'll give you this $3 million, but I'll ruin your whole career by not allowing you to showcase yourself. I'm thinking if he slept with maybe one of Dolan's girlfriends or something like that. If he did something with one of Dolan's girlfriends, maybe. But I'm just trying to grasp the short. Allegedly, I'm not saying that it happened. Please don't.
If they did that, you know what I'm saying? Like really did something to spite him. You know what I mean? Then that would be the worst. That would just be. That would be. Hey, let me tell you something though. It is not out of the realm of people, of coaches doing stuff like that. And I'm speaking just on a high school level right now. My daughter left one school and went to another school, right? The coach never played this school ever. And we went to a school that had a team that it wasn't better, but we went there for developmental purposes, right? Because we had access to stuff at this school that we didn't have at the other school. It didn't matter. I didn't care that they were winning, right? And as soon as she left, he scheduled a game to play against the school. Never played against them ever. All of a sudden, he scheduled a game because he knew that they were going to win.
Spite.
Right? Out of spite. So then another girl who she played AAU ball for me, played high school for that same coach. She was going to leave that school and come play with us. And he told her, if you leave, as soon as you leave, I'm calling up the coach to schedule a game. I told the AD at the school, I was like, if he calls up, if she does leave and he calls up, do not schedule a game because he's doing this out of spite. Like, how do you do this out of spite to children?
Oh my gosh! And these are high school girls, man.
To children, these are children. How do you do that out of spite to children? That's just terrible stuff, man. So I mean, coaches do stuff like that.
But I'm talking about the organization. I don't think Mike Miller, because remember he wasn't playing under Fizzo either. Yeah. So I think it's past the coach. I think it's something with the front office. Maybe he badmouthed. Because remember, this guy, and these are rumors per se, but people are saying since high school he's kind of been pampered. But all these guys are pampered since high school. There's, maybe he maybe talked to a Mills. Because remember what D Rose, and I got on D Rose for talking bad about the Knicks. I still feel so, but he did say that Mills was trying to be like, hey man, I'm cool, I'm hip, and if Derrick Rose being who he is, he probably didn't say anything, but maybe he said something like that to Trier. Trier's probably like, hey, I'm not playing Mills. Like, what's happened? What do you guys want to do with me? Then Mills tried to do some, yo, homeboy, like some 90s slang. And Trier's like, yo, get the F out of here. Like, screw you, man. Like, and curse him out. Something along those lines. Because it just doesn't make sense. The kid hasn't been, I mean, he had a little knick-knack injury, whatever it was, but it's like, he's legit not getting burned. And almost to Iggy Bradzakis is probably the only guy who's probably getting less. They're literally looking for ways almost to not play Trier at times. And it doesn't make sense. Guys like Knox are struggling. We're on the court. There are times we really can't score. And I'm not saying just put him in to score, but obviously he fits that role where he can come off the bench and score. Why not build around that? Maybe he could be your second unit guy. He comes in, gives you instant offense. You could build around, you build your second unit around. Now the guys coming off Knox and have as much pressure to come and score. Guys could just rebound, play defense, push it to Trier. Trier's the go-to guy. I mean, there's so many things you could do with Trier, and I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. How it goes with Zoe.
Didn't he get his own sneaker too, man?
No, he didn't get his own sneaker. He got a deal. With Nike. So he signed a deal with Nike, but it wasn't like a his own sneaker or nothing like that. But he did sign a deal with Nike, so I mean, that's good for him. You know, that's really good for him. But in order for that deal to pan out for him to help him, he's got to play basketball, right? So that, you know.
You got to do so. You got to. You can't have a commercial talking about you average 0.2 points a game and you looking up at the sky and you're like you're sweating and sitting on the bench. Yeah, like
I guess you could do a commercial where you know what I'm saying, like you're working your way. You know, you're working. You're trying to get back. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could do something like that.
You're pulling splinters out your ass like in slow motion while the music is playing.
Like they got you in practice, putting in the work, sweat dripping. You're in practice, sweat dripping. You know what I'm saying? And you have some kind of slogan like,
to be good in my rookie year.
No matter where you are on the team, on work, you have something like that, some kind of saying, some kind of marketing scheme. You got him working in the gym, he's working hard, boom, boom, boom. Then it's like, don't matter where the coaches put me on, working my way to the top, whatever, something like that.
No matter where, I shot 44% my rookie year, but I ain't getting any burn my second year. I'm working my way to the type.
You
cannot market that.
Something like that.
Possible.
Working my way to the top, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Nike will do it and it'll work.
Look, if it was a
people
dude
don't
coming
know
off
who
injury,
Zoe is.
if it was
Only
Jordan
basketball
coming off injury,
people know who he
T-Mac or
is.
something like, I'm trying to work my way back from Grant Hill trying to work his, but even though I think Grant Hill was feline. But it's like, dude, if you're a bum, Nike ain't messing with you, bro.
Well, they signed Zoe and he wasn't getting any burn when they signed him. He wasn't getting any burn when they signed him. They signed him.
That's true.
I mean, he can be in
chances on guys though.
And listen, he doesn't have to be in a commercial where it's about his sneaker. It could just be in a Nike commercial overall.
About
I don't know.
what?
We'll see, man. We'll see.
They're gonna use him as a guy that he's getting dunked on by a more profitable, marketable Nike star. Come on, man! Like this is bad, bro. And they always put these stars in like the colors that
Frank
their team
Ntilikina
wears.
has a Nike contract too.
Who?
Frank.
Yeah, Frank got a Nike contract.
He got a Nike contract his rookie year.
I guess that's the international crowd. At least he has, that.
Oh, come on, man. 8 points, less than 8 points.
Yeah, Frank really can't, and he can't really.
Don't you remember when they had the big Nike billboard?
But it's just.
Don't you remember when they had the big, they had Frank on a big Nike billboard or whatever?
Oh my God!
When he was a rookie.
Yeah, that's the international crowd. At least he has France. Trier has.
Well, they did it in
2 years. Really?
Where's Trier from? DC or something? Where's he from?
Trier?
Yeah, he's from Arizona, I think.
He's from. He went to Arizona. I think he was in Oklahoma City. That's how he met Kevin Durant. But he did go to school in Silver Spring.
Got you. The Matha or something like that?
He went to Montrose Christian.
Okay.
In Silver Spring, Maryland. He went to a few different schools. I think he was playing for like a homeschool team one time, right? A homeschool team. So a homeschool, you know what homeschooling is, right? You know what homeschool is, right?
No, I've never heard of it. I can imagine, I guess, but I just didn't know that.
Like homeschool teams are like, all players who are taught at home instead of somebody organizes a team and puts a team together. And sometimes those teams can be real powerful. Sometimes they can be real terrible.
Okay. All right.
But he played for a homeschool team. Then he was at a school, I think, somewhere in Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the homeschool team. Then I think he went to Montrose Christian. And then he went to a place in Las Vegas. Then he went to Arizona.
Okay. All right. I just see a guy, we talk about Knox all the time. I just don't see that trepidation, that shyness or whatever with Trier. And I think you could build around that. Last year was really no structure, nothing. And I think he could benefit. We've seen him. I know it's tough to see, but at least I've seen him. And I know you guys have seen it. Other people have seen it, that he's passing. He's not being as selfish and as, narrowly focused as he was last year. And we complain about about Knox. Some of the things we complain about with Knox, I don't see it in Trier. And obviously they play two different positions. Knox is 6'9" or whatever, 6'8", whatever the hell he is. Trier 6'5", more of the combo guard role, but I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, two different guys, two different positions, two different ages too. I mean, Zoe is like 23 years old. You know, he's a little bit older. You know. We'll see what happens to him, man. We'll see what happens to him. Big shout out to the Knicks fix. You said Trier, deliver popcorn, Nike, just do it. Oh, that's corny. That's corny. That's messed up. Y'all can't be messing with a man like that, man. Leave him alone.
That's rough.
That's rough.
You know, leave that man alone.
Yo, come on, man.
Messing with that man. What's gonna happen to Damian Dotson, man?
Oh man.
What's gonna happen to Damian Dotson? Right? What y'all think is gonna happen to Damian Dotson?
I don't know, man. He might be gone. I think they might re-sign Bullock, man. They might re-sign Bullock as a guy. The guy we were talking about, someone mentioned, I think somebody said, whose Mark said it. You know, I was looking to getting a guy like Malik Beasley from the Nuggets. And I think with Dotson, I still think he's a good system guard. I think he should be come off the bench. One of the first options at the 2 position, come off the bench. But with the way Bullock is playing, Bullock is just doing a lot more. Dotson's 25 right now. So in terms of development, you know, this is probably peak Dotson. I do like Dotson on the ball too. He can dribble, drive and stuff, but Bullock is just showing us a little bit more than him right now. And he probably looks a bit better for the future now. You know, again, this all goes like if you draft a guy like Edwards at the 2, you push RJ to the 3, you have Bullock come off the bench. You know, you still have Trier. There's a logjam of guards that are kind of, you know, up in the air with us. You know,
Let me ask you.
you could probably move on from Dotson. You could probably pick up somebody a little bit better, more efficient than Dotson. But
See, look, hold up 1 second. See, this is perfect. Triborough Gigolo. He said, "Patience is key." That should be the Nike slogan for Trier. There you go. See what I'm talking about?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? You show him in the gym, getting his work in, sweat dripping. You know what I'm saying? And then it just comes across the screen. Patience is key. Boom.
Yeah, and then when he gets traded, I hope y'all still keep all them posters and all them shirts saying that crap.
I'm just saying. Like Nike can find a way to make it happen. What do you think happened? You remember Latrell Sprewell, right? And he had what was it, AND1? Well, he had an AND1 deal. It was AND1, right?
Was it AND1?
After he choked out PJ Carlissimo.
So what was the saying at the AND1?
I don't remember what the saying was for him, but you know they had him on the screen getting his hair braided.
Oh man,
right? And they had some whatever for him, you know, some comeback slogan or whatever. Yo, they find a way to market all of this.
I put my hand on him. And
like about that life. Like I don't like. What would you say for Latrell Sprewell? Like, bro, you choked out your coach. This is not a redemption story for you. This is a discipline thing, bro. Like,
but
you
I'm
need
saying,
help.
but they had the commercial.
Yeah,
they had a commercial for Latrell Sprewell. You don't remember that?
I don't remember the Latrell Sprewell commercial. I honestly, I don't. I'm trying to think, and I used to remember a lot of stupid commercials, man. I still remember Grandma commercials, the Penny commercials.
I got it. Yep, it's an AND1 commercial. Came out in 1999. The American Dream. That was the name of the commercial.
His thing was called the American Dream.
American Dream.
This is it right here. Listen to it. I'm gonna play it for you.
Oh Lord.
I've made mistakes, but I don't let them keep me down. People say, what's wrong with sports? I say, I'm a 3-time NBA All-Star. People say, I'm America's worst nightmare. I say, I'm the American dream.
And then it shows AND1. Yep. That was less.
That is the wackest, man. Get that, get these.
It was working.
That was terrible. I'm America's nightmare. I wouldn't say America's nightmare.
And the commercial, like if you look it up on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't want AND1 to, you know, try to take my commercial because I know they're not making any money from Walmart right now. So I didn't want them trying to take my video money. So I didn't want to show the commercial. Man. All right.
Oh, you messed up, man.
All right, but they had, you know, he was up there, he was getting his hair braided. You know what I'm saying? He had half his hair out, the other half getting braided. You know what I'm saying? They find a way to do anything.
Yeah, sure. American Dream, Latrell Sprewell. Like, dude, that is not like a inspiring like whatever. I
Yeah.
guess yeah,
Um,
American Dream. They could have marketed him because he choked out a couple of. And Latrell Sprewell
Right.
was talented as hell on the Golden State
Yeah,
Warriors.
He was.
talented,
He was
but-
mad talented. He didn't have no right hand. He didn't have no
Yeah,
left
no right
hand,
hand,
but he
yeah.
was mad
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah, left.
But he was explosive as
He was,
before
but
he
he
got the
did
braids. When he was bald headed, Latrell Sprewell, angry looking Latrell Sprewell.
Bro, Latrell
He was one of the people were saying Baby Jordan. They were saying Latrell Sprewell is one of those guys that he could be because he was that explosive. That bro, he just had anger issues. And his upbringing was tough. He had a tough upbringing.
Sprewell was. I mean, he did crossovers, all right-handed crossovers or something.
yeah.
I mean, he
And
could
that
not use the
same
left hand
corny
for
dunk.
nothing.
The-
He was like one of the only players in the NBA that was all right-handed and couldn't use his left, but he was successful. I don't know. It was crazy. He couldn't go to the left for nothing.
The American
But he
Dream.
could
yeah.
do it.
21 million for 3 years is not enough to feed my daughter. Yeah, that's
Right. Yeah.
the American Dream.
So
Yeah,
look,
all right.
King,
Didn't he have like
King
9
E.
kids or something like that?
I'm pretty sure he has a. Yeah, well, first of all, they embarrass him with that awful commercial. With the "Don't Be Me," the phone commercial with David Robinson,
Oh,
and they show Latrell Sprewell with like his daughter or something or he's like eating eating like a fan's fries, and he's like, yeah.
yeah. I remember that.
You remember the
yeah,
King
yeah,
commercial? Yeah,
I remember
grimy.
that.
Well, he took it, so.
So listen, King E161 in the chat said, "How would you feel about trading for Zach LaVine?"
Zach LaVine is so annoying because he's so talented. But what are the Bulls doing? Let me see what the Bulls doing.
I don't know what the Bulls are doing. I guess they're kind of, maybe
Bulls
a few,
are 15 and 27.
15 to
Better than
27.
us. I mean, but what is that team? What is Zach LaVine? Because he's talented as hell, and he's improved since his Minnesota days, where he was basically just this high flyer, right? So this year he's shooting 39.5% from three, which is good. 43.6% from the field, which is good. 24.5 points, 4 assists, 19.3 PR. I mean, what do you trade for him? Would you rather? I ask King I can't E36, whatever his name is. No offense. Would you rather have trade for Zach LaVine or try to give a big offer to Brandon Ingram?
I'd rather try to give a big offer to Brandon Ingram. I'd rather take my chances there.
I would too.
I'd rather take my chances there than trading for Zach LaVine.
Because did they get a new coach? Didn't they rebuild? So they kind of trade for him. He's like one of their main pieces. I don't think they're trying to get rid of him. You probably have to give up a whole lot. Versus we give up money that we're not going to use. Not say we're not going to use, but we probably don't have much to spend it on anyway. I'd rather do that on Brandon Ingram. But Zach LaVine is a solid player, though. I can't.
Yeah,
he's good.
I don't know. I'd rather take my chances and wait for a Brandon Ingram on a guy that is going to can be your can be your foundational piece. You know what I'm saying? Then just get Zach LaVine. I'm not. I mean, he's a good player. I just don't feel like he's the guy that you say, yeah, let's go get him. Unless you have a bunch of pieces already, and you say, okay, we get this guy. He can be he can add to our depth or whatever it is. I try to make. I'm trying to make a run at Brandon Ingram. That's what I would do this summer. I try to make a run at him. Probably gonna not get him anyway, and. If Zach LaVine isn't traded at the trade deadline, if you were interested in him, you could probably still make that trade in the summer anyway. So I take my chances with.
Okay, I can make an argument for Zach LaVine, though. I mean, Zach LaVine at least shoots very well from the floor and could space the floor potentially for you. Because one thing that we have is a bunch of inconsistent shooters. And let's say if Zach LaVine at least shoots close to 40% and is a threat to drive as well as shoot, he might do more benefit because Brandon Ingram isn't that good of a shooter, but he's a good playmaker. He literally could be repetitive as RJ, like RJ Part 2 for the team.
Yeah, right. He could be. Who'd you say could be RJ Part 2?
Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram could be RJ Part 2 because he's a big. He could like Brandon Ingram plays guard sometimes for New Orleans. He did in LA as well. And he's hard to guard because of his size and stuff, and he does the ball handling a lot. And it's the same thing that RJ does, but both of them don't shoot that well. So it might be repetitive from that standpoint. What position would you put Brandon Ingram as? The three?
I mean,
You're talking about replacing Marcus Morris like that, right?
Yeah, because Brandon Ingram is lighting it up this year.
You can't play him at the 4.
Yeah, I guess he would be a 3.
Yeah, he'd be a 3. Brandon Ingram is lighting it up this year. He's shooting 47% from the field and shooting 40% from 3.
He's killing it, man.
Career-wise, what is he shooting? Isn't it?
You said that's his game?
Huh?
You said that's his game? Like that's his natural game
to ball handle, yeah, like to be a primary or secondary ball handler, which is what RJ is.
The thing with Brandon Ingram, though, I feel for a guy who's learning how to space out, because remember, Brandon Ingram coming into the league, his years with the Lakers, he was always a mid-range guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he was drafted to be, right? To be his mid-range guy, even though Luke Walton tried to install more of the Warriors kind of offense.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy, I think that you put him with RJ, I think it'll work out because you have a guy who could space it out. They could not take turns. It sounds corny saying it, but these are guys who can switch back and forth between, especially if RJ improves his shot, between being that, the type of guys to share the facilitation duties, or not facilitation, but the slashing duties and the shooting duties. I guess I can see him working well together. I don't see Brandon Ingram being really like a black hole on offense, right?
No, and I'm not saying black hole. I'm just saying it might be repetitive. Because right now the Knicks need a lot of crap, right?
Yeah.
Is it wise to invest in the same type player as the player that you already have, or is it wise to go after a guy that I could say with Zach LaVine for this team right now, if we change nothing at all, he could space the floor by being a good shooter. He could drive to the basket at a higher clip than most of the guys except RJ. Well, along the lines of RJ, but then also he could shoot and spot up. And if RJ has the ball as the primary distributor, he could give the ball to Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine could hit a shot. He could just spot up and shoot. Zach LaVine could pump fake off that same pass and drive to the basket.
Another thing though with the RJ thing and Ingram, and my argument for Ingram is that Ingram driving to the basket, because he's becoming that much more of a deadly scorer, not even just shooting, just slashes to the basket. He can also dribble, drive, pass, right? So remember how Kawhi Leonard did with the Toronto Raptors last year, where he would dribble, drive it, and dish it out to Van Vliet. That's the same thing he could do. A guy who basically attacks the paint.
Is we don't have a guy that can shoot. Even though
that's true, but RJ has to learn. Is learning how to. I'm not saying he's there yet, but also even forget about the shooting, right? You can still have another guy. RJ could be that guy where if Brandon Ingram is coming off the wing per se, right? No, or deep near the corner wing part, right? If he's coming, he's driving from there. You have an RJ Barrett cutting from the other side to the basket. That's an easy, not say it's easy pass, but that's a very good pass, right? Now the defense has played either side a lot honest. So he can look at how Dwayne Wade used to play, right? Dwayne Wade was never really a good shooter, but even when he didn't have the ball in his hands, even though he was a primary ball handler, even though he wasn't a point guard per se, he handled the ball a lot. Times that he wouldn't hand the ball, he was moving off ball. He did just that, slash to the basket, get those cuts to the basket. Someone passed it to him, whether it was Chalmers or whoever, what point guard he had. Swish Parker, when he was there that 1 year. Just joking. But you can. There's many, and for the simple fact that Brandon Ingram is becoming. Whenever you have a guy who's that much of a, not just multifaceted scorer, but deadly, where it's all right, we have to account for him. So now our defense has to cheat and kind of has to put another guy on him. That leaves somebody open. That leaves somebody or a space on the floor open. And if RJ is, like I said, creating an offense where, and I think that RJ's more, say, scheme agnostic than say a Knox, but I still think that if you have a scheme where he's moving off ball, making those cuts, backdoor cuts through the middle, stuff like that, where he's in motion, and he could be that much more. He could be that much more deadly. He could play with an Ingram. Now, Zach LaVine, don't get me wrong, is solid. You know, I just think that Brandon Ingram, because of Brandon Ingram, his profile, that helps out. That his profile is still high from his draft pick, and he's starting to live up to it. I think teams would be more fearful of him than say Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine's good too. But Brandon Ingram, I think, is reaching that.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Zach LaVine is averaging 24.5 points this year, 4.6 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting 43.6% from the field and 39.5% from three. I don't know. He's 24 years old. He's about to turn 25 in March. Been injury prone. Played 77 games his first year, 82 games his second year, 47 games his third year, 24 games in 2017-18, 63 games in 18-19, and so far he's played all 41 games this year.
What was it? ACL, right? He did something. He shredded his knee or something like that.
Yeah, something. So
he's a solid player. We don't need to trade. No, I don't want to trade any.
We'll see.
Unless we're trading something for assets in terms of, you know, guys who are getting older. We could, you know, get assets and sign them right back. You know, Morris. But I just, you know.
Let me see. Zach LaVine has this year he makes 19.5. Next year he makes 19.5. And 2021, 2022 he makes 19.5. He's an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2022. So,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But hey, fellas, I'm about to get out of here. All right.
See you, big man.
Good conversation tonight. It was fun. I'm gonna be looking forward to this Nike Zoe commercial.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, put all your suggestions in the chat.
Be looking forward to it. Hey, I do want to remind everybody that's in the chat. If you have suggestions for plays of the week, make sure that you put them in the comment sections of the different different videos or whatever, so I can look at those and then I'll have I cut out those plays, Knicks plays of the week, not anybody else. Knicks plays of the week, so we can do it on Knicks Weekly, and I can put it up there on Knicks Weekly and stuff like that. All right, so just remember to put it in, after every game, put it in there. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, man. Any last words, Guillermo?
Man. See you for the game tomorrow, man.
All right, Nick. Any last words?
No, man. Just try to play some defense. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Try to play some D. Right. All right, man. I'll catch y'all later. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. I do want to remind you that we have those Knicks and Nets tickets available. So get them before they're gone. All right. I'm putting the link in the chat one last time before I get out of here. All right. It's $98 per ticket. And they're in section 214, row 6. We'll get a chance to sit courtside while the Knicks shoot around, and then you get a chance to go onto the garden floor and take a big group picture afterwards. So make sure you get your tickets. You purchase your tickets now. $98 per ticket is not bad. And then, probably after the game, we'll hang out a little bit, maybe even before the game. But make sure you get your tickets now. Tomorrow night, the Knicks play the Suns at 7:30 at Madison Square Garden. And I will see you after the game for the post game. All right. I'm probably not going to see the first half of the game because I got a game to coach. So, after my game, there's the boys play. So I'll be staying there for the boys. I'm going to try to look at it on my phone if I get internet service inside the building. We'll see what happens. But I will be here for the post game, ladies and gentlemen. I will catch you tomorrow night. I'm out of here. Peace. Don't forget to get those tickets, ladies and gentlemen.